Welcome back, everybody, to this wonderful channel of mine, Under the Bonnet with Dino. Today, I will be talking about something I've spent a huge amount of time researching over the last 12 to 18 months, and this includes things that I've looked at regarding the auctions and what I see coming through the door, people's experiences, what they found. And I've been doing this a long time. And here's the interesting thing. Despite what social media tells you, only a small percentage of modern classic cars are actually genuinely increasing in value long term. The market is flat. Some are falling. Only a select few are becoming true collector grade cars. So what I want to do today is break down which era is performing the best, why Japanese cars could be about to surge again, and my top classic car, modern classic car, investments over and above 50,000. So first of all, thank you to Connor, my general manager, who has helped me collate some of this information. He's so well au fait with this market, especially Japanese things. So thank you, Connor. It's been truly an experience. Oh, by the way, I know I digress. I was having a chat with Connor and saying, what do you think of my podcast? How am I doing? Am I doing okay? And he said, yeah, it's absolutely fabulous. What I do, I put it on in my ears at night time, and it gets me to sleep so quickly. Thanks, Connor. I really appreciate that. I hope I've managed to keep some of you still going. So, what's happening with the market? Well, the strongest area right now seems to be late 1990s and early 2000 cars. Why? Because the people who grew up with these cars are now reaching an age where they finally have disposable income. Despite the modern what's happening out there with the political scene. It's not a political program, but it's quite chaotic indeed. So going back, these are Gran Turismo generations, Fast and Furious and the Max Power generation. And they are now able to buy these cars, which once probably adorned their bedroom walls. And it's incredibly important that the reason why they buy these cars, not necessarily because of an investment purpose, is because they had them probably on their walls. And it's emotion that drives the market. And it's as simple as that logic. So, strongest era, 1980s, well, they're still very strong, particularly fast Fords, hot hatches. They were the poster cars. But I think the market for that is now stabilizing. They had a massive surge. So you had the Cosworths, the Escorts, something that I've never really liked. I did drive a Ford Sierra Cosworth, one of the very early ones. We had the chance to do quite a few restorations on them, and I had to take one out as a test, and I was somewhat disappointed. I've said it in the last show. You know, you should never really try your cars that you always wanted to aspire to as a young person, and it felt, I know, very dated, but the power, I know it's special, but this is the problem, and I think it's the problem with the market as it stands is that you've got an electric car, and we have one, and jumping into I would an analog car. It does have the feeling, the emotion, but if you were just going to compare it on the 0 to 60 times, and the usability and drivability, and it actually works, then an electric car, unfortunately, beats it hands down. I'm just astonished, completely astonished. Anyway, I digress. So the 1990s are absolutely the sweet spot right now. They've got the analog feel, the manual gearboxes are the best, limited electronics so they don't go wrong, and motorsport heritage is important, and many of these cars still survive, perhaps in small numbers. Now, the early 2000s are becoming very interesting. Naturally aspirated engines, proper hydraulic steering, love that. Manual gearbox, wonderful. If you're a fan like myself, it's lovely to be able to go through the gearboxes. You'll feel that in your jaw clenching as you just drive it through. And I think that some of these cars have serious headroom. Before I go on to what cars are going up and what's going down, but I'd like to concur with Connor, and that is that the Japanese segment, I think this is a very interesting area, as I think this is going to surge, and we haven't seen the end of it yet. I think that some of the cars have exploded, as in price, but I think this isn't the end of it, because there is global demand for them. America wants them, Europe wants them, Australia wants them, and a good, clean, original car you cannot beat. So, the important point with Japanese cars, originality more than anything. It has to be that. Years ago, people modified these cars very heavily. Now, collectors are searching original paint, factory interiors, matching numbers, documented history, and unmolested examples. Now, that's going to be the sticking point for many of these cars, because they were used to their extreme. I remember having a Subaru Impreza, and it was brand new, and I really pushed it to the max, and then the clutch gearbox failed. So at the time, I didn't think that I drove particularly badly, although many would disagree. But I think I was all right, and I managed to smash them both. I sent them back and said, "This is not good." So watch out for molested examples. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Should be cherished examples. So the top modern classics under 50,000. This is my top 6. I ought to have some music going. Bum, 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 like what was it in the I'm laughing, and I can't tell you why. I'm trying to get the words out of my head, and I can see it. Pop Pix or something. I remember it in the 1970s. Anyway, some of you may remember that and go, "Oh yeah, I remember." So if you can think of that theme tune in your head, then this is going to be great. So number 1. Honda S2000. It's one of the purest driver's cars ever made. It's got a manual gearbox, 9,000 RPM, and rear-wheel drive. Honda won't make these cars again, and I still think they're undervalued, in my opinion. Mazda RX-7. I remember a neighbour having one in bronze, and I thought that was a business. Looking back, I'm not so sure that bronze is the right way to go, but they do have a lightweight, fantastic steering, and arguably one of the prettiest Japanese sports car that they've built. The downside is the rotary maintenance. It's got a Wankel engine. Honestly, it has. But collectors love these cars. Now then, number 3, Mitsubishi. Have you still got that tune going on in your head? Well, it's going on in mine. It's quite annoying now. Mitsubishi Lancia, I'm thinking the Italian car, Evolution, the Tommy Mackinnon edition. This car has got real motorsport credibility, but remember, it has to be looked after. There's many out there, and the really good ones, and if you're trying to chase a price, it's going to be really hard. This market has completely changed. You have all the issues of the internet. There's all the information is out there, so you're all competing against these cars. However, people often ask me, how do I find cars? I don't so much nowadays. I've got lots of issues with my health, so it's a bit difficult. But it's really difficult to find a good one. Now, number 4. Subaru Impreza P1. Oh, this is an icon. And again, the McRae connection, fantastic. Many of you will know this era. The sound and the shape, and as I said, that I had a Subaru, and Connor has many, and he's a firm believer in them. Now, number 5, Porsche 996 Carrera. I think it's the forgotten 911. The only issue, well, there's 2 issues. There's 2. The headlights, they look like fried eggs, 2 fried eggs. I'm thinking of 2 fried eggs on a car, and that's it. The other thing is the engine. They're not that great unless you've got a 996, the special version. I'm trying to think of the name now. It'll come back to me, and then I'll come back to you. But people are realizing that, it's an analog car. It's usable, and it's still relatively affordable. And the one that I'd go for is a manual. The next and the final one, number 6, is my Mercedes C63 AMG. It's the W204. It's got a fantastic engine, naturally aspirated V8, got great character, and the driving experience is, many other cars, it's difficult to replicate. It's a really good car. I've driven one, and I thought it drives like a rocket ship. Not that I've ever driven a rocket ship. Okay, now I move on to the top 6 modern classics over 50,000. And again, here come the Japanese. The Honda NSX is my top favorite. It's reliable. It's beautifully engineered. The steering is a bit heavy. I did find that. It still feels undervalued next to a Ferrari of the same era. And of course, you've got the Ayrton Senna connection. That's a really good car. I like that. It's got huge credibility. I find a manual, of course. Now, the other thing that I was thinking the other day is that don't be scared by a Japanese import. They're often really well looked after. Myself and Connor spoke about this, and they are certainly a good buy because they'll have low mileage because there's not much road in Japan. Unless you go round and round all the time, but there's so much traffic there you don't get anywhere. And you have the weather for it, so it's in really good condition. Consider it. I would definitely consider it. My next, again, we're still in the Japanese era, which is the Nissan Skyline GTR, the R34. Often a poster car, this, especially for the gaming culture, the film culture, the motorsport heritage. The R34 has really become a global iconic car. I've not ever driven one, but I've heard one. And boy, does it sound good. Yes, that's one of the things that's really annoying with the electric cars. They just make a strange Hoover noise. Or we did have a BMW i3 for some time, and I thought that sounded actually like a chorus of angels. But I was ill, very ill at the time, so perhaps that was going through my head. Now, number 3, the Audi R8 V8 manual. I absolutely love these. Gated manual gearbox, naturally aspirated engine, and everyday usability. These will become a future collector's car, and of course they're linked to Lamborghini. Now, Ferrari F40, number 5. I've never had one. I've always wanted one. I've never had a Ferrari. They've always scared me because they do go wrong, and when they do go wrong, they can be quite catastrophic, especially for your wallet or your purse. It's a equals opportunity show, this. So the hydraulic steering is fantastic on these cars. I do like them, and of course it's V8 and it's still usable. Well, up to a point. You've got to be really careful that you don't get salt on the underneath, because it'll rot it like that. And finally, the Porsche 997 GT3. I like the era of 997s. I've had a few. A Turbo S. My wife shooted round in a Turbo S, which was quite terrifying, I must say. And I think they are really good cars. I think the price is the difficult thing here. If you're trying to buy for an investment, then there's so much that you have to consider. If you're buying purely because it's an emotional thing, then that's what I particularly like about these cars. Somebody did actually make comment on one of the podcasts, and that was, why should I be talking like this about these cars, that they are investments? The biggest joy for me is, or was, should I say, the people who drive these vehicles, they're far more fascinating, and the emotion that transcends from the car and them, and that is the huge joy that I get from this. The car, the noise, the smell, the oil, the leakages, the breakdowns. But that's what it's about, really. It's about that raw power and how it makes you scream. Okay, so you've heard the best. So what to avoid? Now, just because a car is old doesn't mean it will go up in value. And so this is the area where most people get caught out. Things I'd avoid: heavily modified cars, poor history, fake limited editions where they move the badges round, or they're saying that, it's a GT3 lookalike, and cars bought purely because social media says they're an investment. I suppose it's a bit like this show, but I always say to somebody who's buying a car, make sure that you actually enjoy the car. Don't just buy it for an investment, because it's really hard to get it right unless you're at the top echelon of multi-million pound cars, and they're actually never driven, and it's quite sad, really. So my honest belief is that the strongest modern classic cars that combine emotion, rarity, analogue driving feel, and cultural significance. And do you know what? The Japanese market ticks all these boxes. And the key to buying quality, it really is, because as the market matures, the best cars will separate massively from average examples. So what I would say is that it's the market is very odd at the moment, and I think it's the next generation who are going to be driving this. After that, Generation Z, well, that's finished. They don't understand. I forgot. There was a survey conducted regarding Generation Z, and I think 50% didn't know what an ashtray was in a car, or how to pull up a manual aerial, or where it was. A cassette player was, had to forget the 8-track, and that just disappears. But there are seasonal things. Make sure you enjoy your cars. Make sure you have a passion for it. And I think if there's anything to take away from this show, apart from me, is nearly forgot. I bumped into what's his name? Prince William the other day. We live in the Yorkshire Dales. The business is actually in Otley. Long story here, but anyway, we live in the Yorkshire Dales, and it was good to see him the other day. I think it was Tuesday. I was walking around, and he's a great fan of the show, loves it. And he borrowed his father's car, which runs on wine or something. It's completely been turned around. The DB6 convertible Vantage. It's a shame, but I suppose, it doesn't really matter. It's not going out of the family anytime soon. They don't have to sell it because they need the money. I don't know where I'm going with this. It was just really good to see Prince William the other day, as there seems to be always something going on. Nice to talk about cars. Glad that he's a big fan of the show. What more can I say? On that bombshell, I won't say the ending of what normally comes after that. I've been Dino. Thank you very much for listening. If you've got this far, I know Connor will be asleep at this point. So, next biggest investment boom, Japanese cars. Okay, with a smile, thank you very much for listening. And I hope to see you again very, very soon. Thank you.